a little over a week now, California Governor Gavin Newsom has been posting in the style of President Donald Trump. And he's getting a lot of admiration for it. So he's basically engaging in this trolling campaign, and he's been very successful with it on X. Many of those posts have actually racked up tens of thousands of likes. And look, it does play well in the paradigm of left versus right. When you see politics as team sports and nothing more than tribal politics, you want your side to own the other side, troll the other side, to own the libs, to own the right. That's what this feeds into. It has nothing to do with substance. It has nothing to do with how much of a circus California has been under the leadership of Gavin Newsom. It has everything to do with getting brownie points for trolling the other side. So with that in mind, he wrote the following recently. So Governor Newsom press office on X, that's the account that we're talking about, began posting in the same type of tone that you would expect from Donald Trump, all caps. You get the picture, let's take a look. Again, this is all caps. Donald Trump, if you do not stand down, we will be forced to lead an effort to redraw the maps in California to offset the rigging of maps in red states. So obviously this has to do with the redistricting attempts in Texas, which will probably go through. But if the other states call off their redistricting efforts, we will do the same. Thank you for your attention to this matter with an exclamation mark. Okay, so he's making fun of Trump when he posts in all caps. As you can see, that got 96,000 likes. All right, let's go to the next one. In the days since, the account has continued to write in Trump-inspired ways. Final warning, Donald Trump, maybe the most important warning in history. Stop cheating or California will redraw the maps. And guess who will announce it this week? Gavin Newsom, many say the most loved. I can't repeat that. Do you want to read it?
Yeah, the most loved and handsome governor and a very powerful team. Don't make us do it. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
And then there was another one. This one is kind of funny because it's so random. I hate Kid Rock. Gavin Christopher Newsom, which is GCN. Anyway, so that account is also taking some time to dunk on other conservatives. So on Saturday, Tommy Lahren wrote the following: the saddest thing about this is Gavin and his team of beta males, 2016 called, they want your lingo, they want their lingo back, but okay, who sit down to pee, actually think they're trolling the president, and actually think this is making Gavin look like a badass. You got to feel for those California boys. I don't know if it's the weed or the gender neutral bathrooms, but something is wrong over there. To which Newsom's press office responded with, Tommy's account is basically Yelp for toilets now. Okay, fine, that is pretty funny.
Okay, so no, I'm definitely in favor of it.
I knew it, I know. But Jay.
No.
If this was happening, if this was coupled with a politician of substance who really is killing it with his leadership, okay, I'm totally in favor of it. But what this does is it masks his failures, I'm worried about, I just want someone that I can back, someone I can support, someone who actually wants to change things for the better in this country. And Gavin Newsom ain't it. I'm just keeping it real, okay. Democrats. I know you guys want a hero. He's not your hero, trust me. But anyway, go ahead, Cenk.
All right, so that's why we're asking it on TYT.com. Would you support Gavin Newsom for Democratic nominee for president? Yes, I like that he's fighting for us.
I love this audience so much. I love you guys.
B, and no, I think he's a phony. C, no establishment Democrat is a guaranteed loss. Okay, so that's the one that's winning right now. Okay, guys, look, so here's my nuanced opinion on this. I like what he's doing here. I think it's relatively effective. No, I don't think it's beta. No, I don't think he sits when he.
There's nothing wrong with sitting when you pee. Please don't splash your urine all over my toilet.
No, but that's what's so funny about it, because I'm neutral on that issue. I couldn't care less. But for them, that's like a thing. Like real men spray the whole bathroom, okay? Not these weak beta males that are respectful of others. No, I pee all over the bathroom. Okay.
Oh my God.
All right, good for you. You seem very manly. Okay, anyway, I can't wait for it to get to women. All right, so look, bottom line is, this is style. And I had two different complaints about Democrats throughout these 20 years, some odd years that we've been doing the show, right? One is style, like they were like, let's be civil. I speak 6 languages. And you weren't gonna win that way, and we were right about that. So now this is the establishment Democrats surrendering and saying, yes, Young Turks was right. It's better to actually fight back, be aggressive, and yes, sometimes be playful, sometimes get in the dirt. Oh, well, I wouldn't want to spoil your elitist French laundry clothes, right? So now he's realizing, I got to get in the mud a little bit, right? So great, I'm happy to get that. Now the second part's even more important, substance, right?
Yes.
So now that's where I believe that Gavin Newsom is just, as I told you guys after the election, they're gonna take all these corporate robots in for to clean up, right? A refresher. So they're like, okay, now computing. I am now Troll Gavin. Ha, you are a beta. Ha, I will write in caps. Okay, I hear you, brother, but actions speak louder than words.
Your state has the highest unemployment rate in the entire country. I'm not kidding. California is tied with Nevada for the highest percentage of unemployed Americans. The state is struggling under his leadership. I'm not making it up, and I'm not like, Anna's a secret alt-right winger, and she's actually, nefariously against the Democrats. No, I live in California. I have experienced his terrible leadership, and by the way, the Liberal Patriot, I think it's Liberal Patriot. I should know. Yeah, the Liberal Patriot, who I'm a paid subscriber to, because I actually really appreciate his nuanced takes. He wrote a piece recently that I thought was fantastic. Democrats can do better than Gavin Newsom, and he explains why. Okay, so actually, Michael Baharine is the individual who wrote this piece. Democrats would do well not to allow their anger at Trump to get the better of them, to not simply back a candidate with many of his own vulnerabilities just because he is willing to throw punches at Republicans. A polling tracker from Decision Desk HQ showed his national favorability deeply underwater at the end of the year. Fully 49.2% of Americans viewed him unfavorably against just 27% who viewed him favorably. And by the way, these people are accurate, okay? It wasn't long ago that he was struggling at home as well, back in June, without Trump serving as a clear foil for him. A poll from UC Irvine put Newsom's approval rating at only 38%. Moreover, okay, 54% of Californians in that survey, including a sizable majority of independents and even a small plurality of Democrats, believe Newsom was more focused on his presidential ambitions than on fixing the state, because it's just demonstrably true that that's been the case. So look, I get it. Like, Democratic voters desperately want a leader to the opposition to Donald Trump. I totally get that. I get that urge. At the same time, we need to tread carefully, because if there's this effort to uplift a guy who's been a complete and utter failure in the state of California, he is very vulnerable, by the way. He is a target-rich environment. The trolling is fun, but how about opt for someone who has substance, ideas, and can also do the trolling on top of it?
Yeah, so look, let me address the substance a little bit and then get back to Gavin as a candidate. So number one, we spent $24 billion on addressing homelessness in California, and homelessness went up 53%. So, I mean, and when you ask him where's the money, he's like, it's an offensive question.
Unaccounted for.
No, not offensive. We need to know what you spent the money on, because it obviously didn't work. So we don't want to go back in that direction. We have to have lessons learned. He doesn't believe in accountability. How much money did you take from PG&E, and did it affect your decision not to force them to bury their wires? That is the number one cause of wildfires in California.
Yeah.
So these are real things, guys. And so we're not picking on Gavin Newsom randomly. What we have seen throughout his career is he works for the donor class, right? So Gavin 1.0 was basically code name French Laundry, right? So that's a fancy a restaurant in California where he met with the donors unmasked during COVID while he was doing mass mandates, okay? Okay, the hypocrisy is an important part of that story, but to me, the more important part is he'll do anything for donors, right? And so then Gavin 2.0, if you remember in the beginning, was MAGA friendly. Like he was copying people like us, but without any of the substance. So when we went to go talk to, whether it was Charlie Kirk or Patrick Bet-David or Tim Pool or eventually Tucker Carlson, Glenn Beck, et cetera, what we did was we tried to find common ground on the left-wing issues.
Exactly.
Right, anti-war, anti-corruption, et cetera. So we fight on the things we don't agree on, but if you're coming in our direction, as Marjorie Taylor Greene, for example, did, and Tucker Carlson did on the issue of Israel, right? Then great, we're happy, Epstein files, et cetera. You come in our direction, we're very happy, right? But Gavin says he was just like computing. He's like, Steve Bannon, let us have a friendly dialogue. I will not challenge you on anything. But brother, no, you're not getting it. So then they took him back to the shop. Now we have Gavin 3.0, which is Trump fighter. I'll troll him right back. But don't you see the transition one after another? So who's the real Gavin Newsom? So guys, keep your eye on the prize. Who passed bills? So why were we so excited about Tim Walz? I don't think he got a fair hearing in this presidential run. And I don't know if he's the right guy going forward. But the reason I was excited and why I'd consider him again is because he passed a lot of good bills in Minnesota that helped the average citizen in Minnesota. That matters. That's what's important. When you ask Gavin Newsom, I don't know where the money went. I don't know why we have a bad record. I don't know why there's so many wildfires. I'm not gonna tell you about the checks I take from PG&E or from many of my donors. No, brother. So like I like the substance. Last thing on this. They're like, we gotta vote for Gavin Newsom because he's the only Democrat fighting back. I'm like, wait, why aren't other Democrats fighting back? Why is the party so pathetic that they found one guy and they're like, oh, someone decided to fight the other side, as if that's like some sort of big revelation. Shouldn't you all be fighting the other side? And by the way, of course there are others. Ro Khanna fights them way more effectively and doesn't get a quarter of the credit. And that's because mainstream media loves corporate candidates like Gavin Newsom. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.